Good morning, everyone. Saturday morning, Nick of the Woods, around about 10ish. Now, we all know the regime of Kiev to recruit their conscripts. They go around kidnapping people, throwing them in the van, and probably the next day they find themselves in some military barrack, and then afterwards on the battlefield with no adequate training or equipment to have a minimum chance to fight back against the Russians. Now, the expectancy of a Ukrainian conscript, I should say kidnapped, is very low. The rate of survival. Usually they're massacred on the battlefield, sent into the Russian meat grinder, thinking they slowing down or running down the Russian war machine. But this is not such a fact, because the Russians are very good in this thing. And what the most disgusting thing is, there is a film footage from a captured Ukrainian so-called soldier, which his squad or whatever he was part of was going around in villages which were they occupied, kidnapping and rounding up Russian civilians, forced them to fight their war against the Russians. And this is not a public dominion, but you got to think about how disgusting, how uncivilized Ukrainians are in the sense of the military and the government, backed by NATO, backed by Washington, backed by Brussels. Is this the scene if war breaks out? We'll have organised gangs on the streets, going door to door, doing raids, looking for cannon fodder to send into the war in the future. Because what is happening in Ukraine today, it could happen in our towns, in our nations, in the West, in the near future. It's not a remote possibility, but a possibility, seeing how things go. They will be rounding up every Tom, Dick and Harry from the street. Practically they go kidnapping people. And the fact is they're sending disabled and ill people on the front line. It goes to show Ukraine military machine and the manpower is lacking a hell of a lot of people. And who's really fighting their battles is NATO, special forces. It's not Ukrainians themselves, because most of the Ukrainians are deployed on the battlefield to do the dirty work. It's not NATO which goes on the battlefield and risks their lives. They're the ones who gives orders, push the buttons, and tells them the targets, basically. Whether it's on the battlefront or whether it's attacks on heartland Russia, it's NATO behind it. And there has been a great deal of evidence, film footage of the so-called mercenaries or regular special troops from some member NATO countries.